Deep in the ocean, an orca pod is on the hunt. But these aren't your average orcas. These guys are organized.
Marketing team, did you get those social media posts scheduled for the SEAL migration?
Aye, Captain. We even have an automated notification for all pod managers when they go live.
They use Monday.com to keep their teamwork sharp, their communication clear, and their goals in sight. Monday.com. For whatever you run, even orcas. Go to Monday.com to dive deeper.
Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer. So let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Welcome, everyone, to Kill Me Now. You know, it's always a pleasure to interview someone who, you know, you've known of, not best friends, since I started doing stand-up comedy I did it in 1982, but then, Catch a Rising Star in the mid-'80s. I met the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Federman. Woo!
Thank you. Your mic went out a little when you said my name, but I can handle it.
Wayne Federman.
There we go.
Wayne Federman. Why would my mic go out?
I don't know.
That's something that would happen to me, where someone's introducing me and they're like, Judy. And then, anyway, Wayne-la, you have a great.
Do you
book
have
out.
that thing where whenever you play a comedy club, the week before was the greatest week in the club's history?
Beyond.
It's
beyond.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot the convention was in town this week, and we're gonna have to cancel the late shows on Friday.
You know what
and Saturday.
I love? I love the oh man, it's Super Bowl shit. Yeah. Because my fans are just sitting at home watching the Super Bowl and being their lives.
Yeah, core audience, Bronco fans, right?
That's right. Here it is. The History of Stand-Up. Wayne Federman wrote a book.
I have your book right here, but it's on Kindle. I've read the whole thing.
Did you like it?
Well, it's interesting. We cover a lot of the same areas. I know. It's really fun. I know,
but I love yours is you can tell that by reading your book, that everything in your house is organized. And that everything is in a pile of fucking shit here.
Before we start, can I just say that the Gary Goldman bit that you put in your book that I love is just one of the greatest little runs of stand-up ever,
Isn't
right?
It?
It's so, I can't believe you printed out the whole thing. It was just reading it. It was making me laugh.
I had to beg them. Like, they didn't want me to do it. And I was
like,
no, sorry. This is so fucking good. And
the fork.
I love him. I just fucking
so do
love
I.
that
So do
guy.
I. Yeah. So I was reading that, and it was making me cry, and it was beautiful. Thank you for getting that in the book. I don't have any stand up in my book, by the way. Maybe one or two lines.
Because yours is a history, and mine's sort of polemic. And what's great about it.
What a surprise.
Yeah. It's that I get to use great stand up as the evidence for my argument.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, but Wayne-la, let's start with you and your life, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
It's amazing because you are many things. I feel like we're kind of similar, but you're a white
I agree.
male.
I feel like in your book, it says you started in 81. So I don't know why you're changing your birth date, your comedy birth date for this podcast to 85.
No, 82. Oh, yeah. Well, I started in 80. Well, it was December of 81. I did my first set.
That's what it's. I'm reading your book. I'm just quoting you.
Yeah. But then I wasn't then I was in college, but I was only doing stand-up spotty,
Okay.
And then
So I might have started. Yeah. I started in 82 at the comic strip. So it was so we're about the same. I'd say. I think you're a little younger than I am.
Yeah. I am way younger than you, Wayne. Come on. Look at us. Wayne-la, you're a comedian. I mean, I feel like we're
I know,
except
it's weird.
You're the wealthier white male.
Yeah,
version.
I got all the advantages.
Yeah. Author, actor, writer, historian, musician, producer. Okay, let's start at the beginning. You're one of six. So you're born in LA. Why are you born in LA? Was someone in your family?
How deep? This is just so you know, before we get into this. I have a very vivid memory of a lot of things that happened in my life. So I can talk in great detail. So I don't know how deep you want to.
Yes, we go deep. We go deep here.
You do.
Yes.
This may end at the third grade because I remember a lot as from my childhood.
I love that. See, I don't. You're a happy person. I've heard that in a lot of interviews and stuff that you've done. And I have blocked out so much because not the happiest, but you're one of 6 children.
Well, here's the real truth. Here's the truth. It is. I'm one of 6 children, but it's not from the same father, all 6.
Okay.
Do you care about any of this?
Yes, I do. We love this shit. We love
You
this
do?
shit.
Okay. Well, just let me. This is what happened. I was born in Los Angeles at the same hospital that Robert Kennedy died in. The
Cedar Sinai?
No, Hospital Good Samaritan. Get it?
Good Samaritan.
I'm a history guy. Come on, let's get it.
Shut up. All right.
So I was born here, and then my father. I'm not born Wayne Federman, by the way.
I know you're born Wayne Mondschein.
Yes. How'd you know that?
Oh,
What?
I do a lot of research for my podcast guests. You're Wayne Mondschein.
Yep. That's on my birth certificate. Yep.
Yes.
And then, so I'm adopted. So my dad, Earl Mondschein, got cancer, smoker, thing. Jew, of course, immediately gets the cancer. And we go back to, they're from the Maryland area. Goes back there.
You go to Silver Springs.
Yeah. So even before that, Alexandria is Virginia, actually.
Oh, sorry.
And so Earl had 4 kids. I was the youngest of that group. Okay, so I had 2 older brothers and an older sister.
Is everyone adopted, or there's some bio?
No. We're all part of Earl Mondscheins. We're all Mondscheins.
Oh, okay. You're all Mondscheins. Okay.
Okay. This is before Federman. So we all go. So we go back. I end up living. He dies. I have no memory. I have no memory of my dad.
How old were you when he died?
But like one.
Okay, that's all right. You're.
Am I okay with
forgiven?
that?
Yes, you're forgiven.
All right. So then for the next 5 years, I'm living with my grandparents and my siblings, and my mom is living on the fold-out couch downstairs in the living room. Okay. That's my earliest memories of childhood. And then I remember her dating, and then I remember her marrying this guy, John Federman, who ended up adopting the 4 kids and then having 2 other kids with my mom, just who I think of as my full brother and sister. Even, we're all Federmans.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
Look,
yeah.
You're talking about a blended family here. I have the one that came out of the vaginal area, and the other one that came out of someone else's vaginal area, and they're both exactly the same to me. So your grandparents lived in Silver Spring, Maryland, or Alexandria, or whatever.
In Alexandria, Virginia. Yes. On my mom's side. Yes.
And then she marries Federman. And what does he do for a living?
Pharmacist.
Very nice. How did they meet? What guy marries someone with 4 kids? I love this guy. I fucking love this guy.
Well, you're not going to love him by the end of this story.
All right. Whatever.
You're not going to love him. But he did. I will say that he did step up. And I remember that when my mom was dating, she would have
landline. Well, I mean, I have a landline. I'm just saying it, and it's going off right now. That is how, how Jewish. I'm just waiting for the fucking message to come on. It's definitely like CVS Pharmacy or something.
I just want to be just not only a landline, but you have an answering machine. Does it have a little cassette tape, a mini cassette?
No, I'm not.
With
that
the digital.
Bad.
It's a digital.
All right. Just to be fair, Wayne-ala, I have the answering machine because my mother, before she died 6 years ago almost, would leave me these messages, and I didn't want, and there's some messages on there. And I have messages from the 80s. You do not.
Yes.
Okay. We're back to being the same person. Okay.
Yeah. We're very close. We're very close.
Yes. All right. So John, go back. I'm sorry, John.
So wait, before you got interrupted by your phone machine, and I love using the word machine, by the way. So great.
Oh my God. I was just watching something on Instagram, and I'm like, and it was a bunch of comics, like that they got together to talk about like giving or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so fucking old. Like, that's all I was thinking was, oh, and one of the guys like, I'm 32. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. All right. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. All right. So real quickly.
Yes.
When we were dating, my mom was dating, I remember she would only introduce 2 of the kids at a time to kind of like.
That is the fucking funniest thing.
Yeah.
What, did she say there's 4, but I'm just doing 2 and 2?
I don't know what she said to the guy. She's like, do you want to meet my kids? And then 2, and the rest of us would stay upstairs. And then if that went well, it was like, oh, by the way, there's also Andrew and Wayne.
Wait, so I have a question.
Yes.
Your mother has 4 kids and
Yeah.
is living on your grandparents' couch.
Yes.
How does she fucking meet anyone? Like, I know people who can't meet people. Like, how did she meet him?
That's a great question. And we never really talked about it because I know, like, for a couple of years, she was just supposedly in this horrific depression and wouldn't even like go anywhere. And a lot of the times on the weekends, we would go to her older sister's house just so
Rita?
she could. No, oh, Jesus, this is incredible.
I know.
Like, this is your life. This is what was that guy's name?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's Sylvia, actually. And so we would go to Aunt Sylvia's house.
I had an Aunt Sylvia. I really feel like
person.
I have to ring the bell 100 times for this story. Okay, go ahead.
So we go to Aunt Sylvia's house in Chevy Chase.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I know this can't be more Jewish. And we would hang out there on the weekends where my mom would slowly get back to being a person. And then she met this guy. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So she meets what's John? It's John
Pharmacist.
Federman.
Right.
With no H, Jon Federman, right?
No.
Really? It has an H.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I don't
And he's
I don't
a
know.
Jew?
Mm-hmm.
Like, his parents really self-hating
Yeah.
Jews. Okay. All right.
And then they had 2 more kids, but he turned out to be pretty abusive to the point that my brother Andrew and my sister, when they turned 18, changed back to Manchin as kind of a.
Wow. As a fuck you,
Yes,
John Federman.
I don't use that word. You do.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It was intense. It was an intense house to grow up in.
So she marries John, and do your grandparents like John, or they're just like, whatever?
I think they're happy
get out of the house. Yeah. I can't with the fucking 5 people here that we didn't plan on having.
Right.
So then you are the young. So what? So you're the youngest of those. So
I'm the youngest. So
and then how much older are you than the John dad?
That's a great. Like 5 years. 5 years.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So there's 6 kids. It's the Brady Bunch. It's the Jewish Brady Bunch, except Mike is an asshole. Is that correct?
I don't. Let me just say, he was very, very intense, rageaholic kind of guy, and would hit us. So it was.
Beat the shit out. Is he dead?
No, he's still alive, but my mom's dead.
Oh, rest in peace.
I know.
And he's alive. Isn't it amazing how miserable? Isn't it? It's just so true.
I know. It's really, it's almost, I'm starting to tear up just thinking, but yes. Thank you for picking up that. Yeah.
That horrible. When did you live in Plantation, Florida?
Okay. This is what happens.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is big history. You ready?
Federman history. Bing, 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 bing. Yeah. Go ahead.
So we have a pharmacy we live in Silver Spring. So we moved out of Alexandria to Silver Spring. And then 1968 happens. Martin Luther King gets killed. There's crazy riots.
Yeah.
Guess whose drugstore gets completely ransacked and destroyed? Upshur Pharmacy on Upshur Street in Washington. And so he can't go back to that location because he can't get any more insurance for that store that it wouldn't be able to do it. So he was like, so I will say this was smart of him. He was like, okay, I sell drugs. Where is there a huge market for legal drugs? Let's go to Florida because there's a lot of old people there that need drugs. Juice.
Yeah.
Boca Raton. So we moved to Plantation, Florida in 1969. I remember the entire road trip. I remember everything about it.
So you're 10.
Yep.
Was that hard? I mean, had you bonded with people in your neighborhood? You had friends?
Oh, that's a good question. Look at you. You're like a therapist.
Thank you. Thank you. And
interesting.
Actually, our time's up, and
Oh
that'll
my
be
God.
$750, and I don't take insurance. Yeah, go ahead. Wait.
I hear somebody outside the door. Is that your next patient?
Yeah, and she's crying. Go
Oh
ahead.
my God. I'm sorry. Oh, you have to exit a different door than you entered.
Yes.
Do you know that move?
Wait.
Yeah.
When I've been on Zoom therapy now, but like watching people walk out of the fucking therapy office, like especially if it's a couple,
Yeah.
and one of them's like so mad and crying, and the other one's like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, it's awful.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with a Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
All right, so you move at 10.
So we moved down to Plantation, Florida, the most racially insensitive name for a city,
Right.
maybe in the country.
Right.
Yeah. And then so that's how I got to Plantation. And then I was there through and it's 5 days after I graduated, I left Florida and I haven't lived there since.
So you have an abusive father. Do you remember him adopting you? Was it a big ceremony and everything?
No, it wasn't a big ceremony, but I do remember because I had already learned to write Manchin.
Right.
Like, as a 5-year-old, and I learned how to rewrite the name. So that was interesting. This is the honest truth. I thought it was just like, that was a normal part of childhood. You get a name, you get a new name, you get a dad.
Right.
Like none of it seemed weird or awkward at all to me. But looking back, just talking to you right now about it, I'm thinking maybe, at that time I was like, my dad was dying and all of that. And maybe I was like not getting a lot of attention as the youngest kid. And maybe that's part of my I like doing comedy and getting approval from adults I might be wrong about that, but I'm just thinking.
I think you're right. I mean, I'm the youngest too. And it's like,
hello.
So you didn't have your own bedroom, I'm assuming.
No. Not until.
What are the names of the kids? It goes.
Really? Oh my God!
Yeah, it goes Greg.
No one.
Marsha.
Just so you know, I've done hundreds of podcasts. No one has asked anything like this.
I'm fascinated by people's stories. So it's Greg, Marsha, Peter, Wayne,
right?
Jan,
it was
and
Muhammad, Felicia. No, it was Denise was the oldest.
Not that Jewish.
By sisters.
Okay.
I know. First of all, one of these names you're going to laugh at because it's not at all.
So Gaisha. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
so Denise is the oldest.
Denise, then Lyle.
Oh, I like Lyle.
Then Andrew, who was the closest with. Then Wayne. That's the four. That's the four Manchin kids. Four. Right. And then later, David, classic. Yes. And then my youngest sister, Benita. I know she's Hispanic.
What the fuck is that?
I have no idea.
Benita?
Yeah, Benita.
What about the middle name? Is the middle name normal?
Hope.
Yeah, that's very Jewy. That was that generation. That generation.
What do you think that was? You think it was
maybe it was a relative of abusive John Fetterman.
I don't know. But here's the crazy thing. It was
maybe he felt like Mussolini, and that's why he wanted to.
I think. It was so tense in my house that we never, ever, ever spoke about our real dad ever in the house, ever.
You just got that feeling, oh, better not. Or they said, did your mother? What was your mother's name?
Norma.
Did Norma say, "Listen, kids, don't mention Earl around John"?
No.
Really?
No, it was really weird looking back at it. It was
before John, it was, even though your mother was depressed, and whatever, there was love. There was no abuse. Correct?
No.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah. I mean, and it was just, I'm a kid. I have older brothers and sisters. Yeah.
And then this fucking guy comes in and is like, all right, I'm taking over.
Well, again, it's so nuanced and
right.
It's just, he was, it was not good. It was not good. People ran away from home later.
Who ran away?
Lyle ran away from home. He couldn't handle it.
Wow. What is
Denise? This is like all, yeah.
I love this shit.
Yeah.
What happened to Denise? Not good.
It's not good. I don't even know if I want to say it. I don't know if I want to say it.
All right. You don't have to say it.
Yeah.
We love you, Denise.
Yeah.
We love you, Lyle. We love you, Andrew. We love you, David. We love you, Benita.
I love it. I love that you know all these names. It's really, I'm blushing.
So,
I'm blushing.
All right. So at 10, you move and you're in Plantation, racist Florida. And do you go to synagogue? Like, is there any normal?
Okay, this is the crazy thing.
Yeah.
We're conservative Jews.
Same. Yeah.
We're part of course, we're the same. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're conservative Jews. All got, I don't know if Denise got bat mitzvah, but definitely Lyle, Andrew, we all got bar mitzvah.
Right.
Certainly Benita got, I went to hers.
Yeah.
And it was a growing Jewish community in Plantation. And here's the crazy thing. Next to Plantation was what you would think a place called Plantation is. Now it's called Davie. It was.
Yeah, I know that place. Yeah.
Okay. So Davie at that time was what we used to call it the sticks. It was whatever, it was literally KKK meetings posted on board. It wasn't like underground or anything. So that was like, okay, that's what's over there. And then the last time I was in Florida, like 5 years ago, there's now 2 synagogues in Davie.
No way.
Yes.
What was the name of your synagogue growing up?
Oh, Temple Beth Israel.
All right. This is how I grew up. Every Friday night, we had Shabbat dinner every Friday. We went to synagogue.
Did you have 2 sets of dishes?
Yes. I have 2 sets of dishes here.
You do?
Yeah. Because
Come on, let's be real. How strict are you with this? You're more Jewy than I.
No, you know what? I feel like I grew up that way, and it was so ingrained. I mean, first of all, you used the wrong fucking knife, and my mother had a mental breakdown. Did
she bury it? Did she bury it in the backyard?
Bury it in the earth. I have a joke about that. She would bury it, and then in the wintertime, she would put them. She didn't want to go outside because it was cold, and she put them in our house plants. Okay, so I have a joke about how people would come over and be like, "Hey, beautiful ficus tree. Why is there a fork sticking out of it?" So, anyway, and I'm so used to it. And it was like this ingrained, and I guilt and blah, blah, blah. Now I'm very, the Chinese food has meat, we'll use the meat plates for that, even though everything else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my mother she loved being a Jew.
Was she an immigrant?
No, she grew up in Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
She literally sat in the boys' Hebrew school class voluntarily because girls didn't go to Hebrew school every day after school, like voluntarily. She was so Jewy.
She wanted to learn. She was like,
she loved being a Jew to the point where the relatives who all lived on the Upper West Side, would there's a story of my great aunt, my mother buzzing to come up, and they had just made bacon and then putting on every fan and opening the windows and hiding the bacon. All right.
Assimilation, baby. Assimilation. Wait, so you're real quickly. So you're a Manhattan kid?
No, I grew up in New Jersey. My mother was Manhattan. My father worked in Trenton because he was a tax attorney. He wrote the tax laws for the state of New Jersey.
Right.
So they
on brand.
The halfway house, Freudian slip, the halfway point between Manhattan and Trenton, which was also one of the most racist places ever to grow up. And okay. So, and you're going to Temple Beth Israel.
Yeah.
Is that your social, like, are you in USY? Are you in B'nai B'rith? Are you
little bit? I was a little bit, but as soon as I got bar mitzvahed, I
it was like,
punched my
take care.
ticket and I'm out. Yeah. For the
And
most
were
part.
you like a well-liked? I mean, did you feel when you were at school, were you like, oh, this is fun, I'm out of the fucking abusive household?
You nailed it. I loved school.
Right.
I was very funny in school. I got a lot of praise and encouragement in school. And I not only was I like the class clown guy, but I felt like I took it to another level because I could make the teachers laugh as well as the kids. I felt like anyone could be disruptive and make the kids laugh.
Right.
Like that was the lowest bar. Right. Like I was like, if I can get the teachers laughing, I think I got something here.
Wow.
And they were the ones that encouraged me to go into stand-up. No
way.
Not my parents. Are you kidding me? No way.
Let me tell you something. If you were female and you were doing that, you would be in trouble like I was. Right. But guys that are funny, fucking, and you started doing ventriloquism
in high school. Yep. That's actually the start of the history of stand-up, is like when I got into stand-up history through that guy, Edgar Bergen. I'm sure you know who he is. Tell your listeners who that was.
Yes, of course. Oh, the ventriloquist. He was a ventriloquist. What was the name of his puppet? We used to watch
Charlie
him on
McCarthy.
TV. Charlie McCarthy, yeah.
But he was on the radio. He was that's like a juggler on the radio.
Yeah.
Like it was the greatest job ever.
Yeah, he moved his lips, ladies and gentlemen. I know my parents loved him, and because my parents were born in 1916 and 1922.
Wow.
So my grandmother's born in 1896. So that's who I grew up with. And so all that radio stuff and was very, he was great. So you start doing ventriloquism.
Because I think I'm too afraid to do stand up.
Right.
And there's a little bit of a magic. I mean, I got my dummy, Buford was his name. I got him at a magic shop. So they're connected. It's like a trick, ventriloquism.
What was Buford's personality like?
This is classic, just Charlie McCarthy kind of thing. It was there was nothing super creative. It's just no kid in my school heard of Charlie McCarthy. So I could repurpose some of those old routines.
Right.
And then write new things about, driving instructor and stuff like that. And then, or getting my driver's license. And this is the truth. I took him to the senior prom. It was Buford, Wayne, and Stacy.
No way.
Performed at the senior prom. Yeah.
Wait, was your date like? All right. First of all, I just want to say I didn't go to the prom. Thank you.
You didn't go to any prom?
No,
junior,
never.
senior?
Nope. No one asked me.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
This is because I'm always curious. I'm also curious. Did you kiss any dudes in high school?
I kissed girls. I kissed a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did a couple of guys. Yeah.
Make out.
And I hated it. I hated the guy making out. I hated it. It felt so awful. And I loved the girl making out. Like it was like,
yeah, I like making out with girls too. I get it.
It was so similar. No, but it was like, it wasn't normal. It wasn't like, oh, they're dating, like all people. I don't know if my kids, I guess they do. All those people that were fucking hanging out in front of their lockers and basically like rubbing against each other with their combs sticking out of their pocket and like, grinding. And I never had that sort of, nothing was normal. It was not normal. Everything was. I mean,
I know you were like a big, tall kid, right? So it was like already you were.
I was 6 feet at 13, and I was even taller. And then I got even taller, and I was in the marching band. It was not. It wasn't a recipe for being popular, but it wasn't a normal. I didn't go through all those. Oh,
were you in plays? Were you in plays?
I was in Guys and Dolls in 7th grade. And then they told me.
Let me assume you sang "Take Back Your Mink." You were part of that.
No, I did. I was the head of the mission.
Oh yeah.
Arvai. But I was in the orchestra too, and in the band, and I played a lot of musical instruments. So I would, I sort of gravitated towards music, even though I really wanted to be on stage. But everyone was like, "You're too tall." So I was taller than my teachers. It was like fucking ridiculous. And I wasn't athletic. I mean, I am athletic, but not, like in 7th grade, the coach told me I was too tall for the basketball team and it wouldn't be fair to the other players. Like, so, this is the story of my life. So
sorry. I'm just curious. I was curious. I'm curious.
No, it's fine. Okay. So does the ventriloquism bring you, I mean, like, are you popular or are you like, oh, that's Wayne. And you're really smart too, right?
I'm smart enough. Yeah. Yeah.
Shut up.
Let me just say I was a really good test taker. Like
really?
if it was a multiple choice test, even if I didn't even study, I could do very well.
Okay. See, that's where now we're done being similar. I like multiple choice tests. I would sit there like for hours. Well, there's part of B that's true and part of like I would sit there for an hour on one fucking thing. It was awful. Yeah, but I was good. The other stuff, the essays and the
right,
all that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you make any money in high school doing ventriloquism?
No, but if you look behind me, do you see that?
Drumming?
Yeah, I did play a couple weddings as a drummer in high school.
So were you taking?
That's
lessons?
my first show business money. That's my first show business.
Wow.
Money. Yeah.
Did you take lessons at the school or did you have private lessons?
I had a private lesson, Mr. Melfi. And I
had Mrs.
and I
Shallot,
gave, as soon as I went to college, I gave up drumming. This is my first set I've had since the 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you buy it?
Well, when I got this place, so two years, a couple months ago. Yeah.
Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel good? Okay. So you're bringing the Jew out in me. I can't even.
I love it. I love it.
All right. So, all right. So by the time you're in high school, Denise is gone, right?
Yes.
Lyle is gone.
He's run away. Yes.
Where did he run away to?
Back to Washington. He first went to the Village, scene.
I love Lyle.
The hippie scene. And then, And then,
Did you hear from him at all?
A little bit, but it was, it's just a very tense thing.
So awful.
Yeah.
And then what happened to Andrew?
And then Andrew kind of lived half and half at home and with his friend Skip. And then he went to University of Florida. And he was always right in front of me as, and he smarter than I was. Athlete, football, the whole thing, basketball, all-star. So I kind of lived in his shadow a little bit, which is fine. And then he since has, as Andy Monsheen, become an Oscar-nominated film editor.
That's right, Andy Monsheen.
Yeah, he's killing it. He's
good for him.
He just edited an episode of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh my God. I wish I could be in that goddamn motherfucking show. That's awesome.
And then he's
Norma is very proud.
What is the name of the Ma Rady's Black Bottom?
Yeah.
He cut it.
No fucking way. That's not true.
Andy Federman. He used to be Andy Federman. Now he's Andy
Wow.
Monsheen. Yeah. So he's had a very successful career. So it never stopped being like the one who's not quite as successful.
Now, your other, Benita and David, do they have different interests than you guys? Or are they artsy or not artsy?
Not artsy.
So we got the artsy from Earl. So, so what are they, like finance and shit like that?
Benita is a teacher and David works in, and David works here works in Atlanta, outside Atlanta at a hotel, like as a manager. Like
do you feel they have
hospitality? I think is the name of the.
And no gays? Is there any gay? Are there any gays?
Nope.
David is gay. I'm telling you right now. He's in hospitality at a hotel. Please. Do you feel like they're more enraged? They have more rage than you guys because they're
that's a great question.
Linked?
Well, here's the dynamic. If you really care about this,
I do. I love this shit.
Really hard for me to talk about. The physical abuse ended with me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yes, I think I think there's still some Andrew especially was really angry. Yeah. So Yeah, I think that
So
more.
they
I
have
was a
questions.
little more of the Henry Kissinger. I was like,
right.
I can make this work. I can be the guy. You know,
the
I can bond.
comic.
Yeah, I
Right.
can bond. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
can
I
do
have
it.
to say, in my whole life, I've never like raised my voice to my father. Like it's really
Wow.
sad. Yeah, it's really.
And what about the other two? So David and Benita
Yeah.
were treated differently, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Right. I don't know if it was for I don't know.
I'm telling you. Okay, so
But that's the dynamic. I told you I have a vivid memory of all of this stuff.
it's amazing.
This week's episode of It's Judy Show with Judy Gold is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you know me, which I think you do because you're listening to my podcast right now, you know that I am a big advocate for therapy. I think it benefits everyone. I think there's so many people who need it, who don't partake. It is so important for your emotional health and well-being. Therapy is fantastic. It is in every stretch of the imagination. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, please do it. But please give BetterHelp a try. It is entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It suits your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. I have switched therapists in my life. I've had many, many therapists, and you know, sometimes it's not a great fit for you, but don't give up. Therapy is beneficial. You can learn about yourself, you can process, and just be emotionally healthy. I'm telling you, do it. BetterHelp is great because, you know, when I used to schlep to my therapist's office, it was so annoying. You have to do it, and you sit there and you wait, and then I'm telling you, doing it online is fantastic. And BetterHelp is amazing. I know a lot of people who've used it. So if you're thinking about therapy, go to betterhelp.com. Let the gratitude flow. This is gratitude month, people. So you need to let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/JudyGold, JudyGold, today, and you will get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome.
Okay, so then you decide you want to be a really good actor, so you're going to go to NYU Tisch. Like it's so, I love that you have these paths, you have desires and goals, and that's it. It's very myopic. I want to do this, and I'm going to do this, which is great.
I said I will give up my 20s for this goal. And at 30 is the first time I'm going to look back and go, all right, was this worth it? And if it's not, I mean, I could always I felt like I could always get some stupid job.
I know. I always felt like that too. And now that I'm old, I'm like, I can't be a real estate. I mean, I could be a real estate, and in no way. I could never be a bartender or a waiter. You know, like I can't do it. The fact that you knew that 30 was not that old and that you could look back and start again is like pretty amazing.
Well, I read some good books about it. I read some good books of like, you have to really give it a fair shot.
Right. It's
nothing you can kind of dabble in if you're serious about it. And though I was 30, I was doing fine. So I was like, oh, let's see what happens until 40. You know.
So you go to NYU, you study with Stella Adler, right?
With her. We were the last class.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
It's incredible looking back, considering she studied with Stanislavski.
I know.
I studied with Stella. You're 1 to 2 degrees away from Stanislavski right now talking to me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. God, I should put on something nicer. All right. So.
Well, the big breakout star of my class was not me. It was Donna Murphy.
I know. And you guys performed together, too.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I love Donna Murphy. Yeah.
You do? Oh, yeah. I love her so much. And
she's so fucking talented.
We auditioned together for NYU. Audition together. Like but this is the crazy thing is like talent is just, it's undeniable when you see it.
I know.
Right?
She was unbelievable. And you're still friends with her?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, she's in a kind of a different Broadway
Right. Yes.
world. She's
And you
like a
did,
queen of Broadway. And
right.
I'm like,
You did, what was the comedy show?
Yeah. Go ahead.
What was the comedy show you did with her?
It was called Comedy Tonight. It was a kind of a one-person show, but I would bring a singer on and a dancer on, and
ventriloquism. Yeah.
I actually did do a little bit. That was sort of near the end of the ventriloquist run. But that's when I first started doing stand-up, and it went pretty well. The first one went great, and then I did it again, and it didn't go as well.
Yeah. That's the story of all of us.
It is.
It's like doing coke. Like, it's like the first high is the greatest, and then you're like, okay, well, I want that again, and it's like, no, sorry.
No, you're denied.
So you're doing stand-up first of all, what was it like going? You come from this fucking abusive household. Your siblings are running away. It's like, and you're at Tisch School. You're at NYU, like studying with Stella Adler. Were you like? I mean, it must have been a freak show.
Well, this is the thing. This is where we really differ. My first time in New York was moving into the dorm. Like, I had no idea.
You had nothing in New York, no idea.
The first time the Stella Adler Studios on 55th, NYU's in the Village. The first time I get on the train, I go the wrong way because I thought downtown meant, downtown Manhattan. That's got to be where 55th Street is. Downtown. No, it's uptown from where I had no idea even what downtown.
Wow.
Because I'm from DC in Florida.
Did your parents move you in?
No.
Not Jewish. What's that? You went by yourself?
Mm-hmm. No, I've been sort of on my own since the age of 17. Like, I've just been on my own.
Wow. Okay. So you move in, it's just you. You have a roommate?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and by the way, this is when I gave up the drums because I was like, I left my drums in Florida with my friend, and I was like, I'm not going to be, hey, I'm your roommate, here are my drums.
Right.
I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
And so I had a roommate, and I really lucked out. I had a roommate who wasn't a freshman, and he would go home to New Jersey almost every weekend. So I had the place to like myself. And
I had a roommate like that too. I had a roommate one year. She left every Thursday and came back every Sunday night. And I was like, yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Weinstein,
the name of the dormitory was Weinstein Dormitory. Not the guy.
Right. What was the roommate's name?
It was Robert. I can't remember his last name.
God. Okay, so you're in Weinstein dorm with Rob, who goes home every weekend. You're best friends with John and Murphy, but it's grueling, right? You're working with Stella. It must have been so much fucking work.
I was into it. This is the honest truth is I think I was too young to really appreciate Stella Adler because I was really, I hate to say it because, and I learned a lot from her, but she was really into like Chekhov and, those 30s plays, she's from the group theater. So she's all in that lefty stuff. And I was into Neil Simon. Like I thought Plaza Suite was an amazing play.
I agree.
Yes, I did fine. And I'm still friends with a lot of people from there. And, but I don't know if I totally was like a serious an act. I just wanted to be, here's my goal. I want to be a good actor who did stand up. I want to be a good actor who did who could also, was great at stand up.
See, I wanted to be a stand up who could act.
Oh, it's the same. Okay.
So, that's what I'm saying. I had stand up first.
Same thing.
Okay.
It's the same exact goals.
What's your first stand up gig in a club? Is it at the Strip?
Are you talking about auditioning or
no?
Like,
you're doing this comedy tonight.
Where you're past at the club?
So which club you passed first at the comic strip?
Well, actually, no. Actually, I passed first at the Improv and then got into a disagreement with Silver. And then I felt like I can't work here anymore and then went to the comic strip.
Can I ask about the disagreement with Silver?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Silver Friedman, by the way, owned the comic strip with Bud Freeman. They were Silver Freeman, just for the people here.
Yeah.
Bud and Silver were married, divorced. Silver got the Improv on 44th between 9th and 10th. in New York City, and Bud opened the Improv in Los Angeles. And Silver was a character. Go ahead.
She's still around. I think.
She's still around. I mean,
Yeah.
in the comedy club, you know. Yeah.
So this is what happened. I do a set, and I'm like good. I'm pretty good right away. I'm like, I'm not great. I'm not great, but I'm like, I'm not bombing or anything. Every set is pretty good. I do a set the Improv. It doesn't go well, and I don't know about you. When things don't go well for me, it's evident on my face. Everyone in the crowd knows it. You can see me get panicked. I have whatever stage fright kind of kicks in. I get self-conscious. I rush to punchline. It's just bad. It's a bad scenario. So, and some comics are just great at just like rolling through that. And I can't, but I'm a very sensitive person. So I didn't have a good set. I was like, God damn it, really upset with myself. And then I go back in the room, and Carol Leifer's on stage. She's killing in front of the same crowd that I had a bad set. So this is making it worse for me. So I'm like, oh, it's not the crowd. It's obviously Wayne. It's terrible at comedy. So I have a mini tape recorder. So I'm like, I'm going to just record what she's doing so I can just study this thing. Guess who sees the tape recorder after 5 minutes? Silver. Pulls me out of the room. Takes the tape out of the thing. And I had taped my bad set. So it was a mini cassette thing.
Yep.
Throws it away. He's like, this is the one thing you never do. You never think. You're breaking the cardinal rule of being a comedian. Unless you got permission from her to tape it. Did you? I was like, no, I was just, I'm flustered thing. She's yelling at me, Jack Federman style. So I was just like, and then I almost in tears left there. She didn't say, don't ever come back, but I was just like.
And you didn't even get to say to her, I'm doing this because I want to study her set. Like you didn't even.
I was too flustered. I was too flustered. I was just,
it's so amazing. Those people have such power over you. Like that they don't even realize that one little thing they say will stay with you for the rest of your fucking career. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that was the story. And I was just like, I don't think I can.
Did you ever walk back in there again?
I did. Like when I would do Jersey gigs, I would meet people there, or I'd hang out with Mike Rowe at the bars. You know what I mean? So, but
didn't they have the best French fries? Remember they used to cut the potatoes and that was so
I love that. I love that. I mean, it's like I read about that room in the last laugh. Like I was into that room. So that was a career, but here's a little Wayne Federman key to success is that whatever I lack in talent, I feel like I make up for with determination and ability to like stick to itiveness or Like I feel like I have that.
Right.
Like I can recall. It takes me a couple of days and then I'm like, all right, let's keep going.
You're going to move ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you then move over to the Strip. Right, with Lucian, which is on the Upper East Side. I probably met you there. I think I don't know, because that was one of the first clubs I worked when I came. And Lucian, Lucian Hold, he's not Jewish. I don't know why he's dead. My first audition, I think it must have been like 1982 or 83. He says,
"Okay, yeah,
you're female. You're Jewish. I don't know what kind of market there is for Jewish female comedians." And I was like, is there any other? Like, what the fuck? I'm like 19, 20. I'm thinking, oh, really? Yeah, like you think it's true. But anyway, he ended up being such a great,
champion.
Because I came back a couple years later after I graduated college, and
I see.
A whole new person. So you were working at the Strip, and this is where you met your little. A lot of people don't know that we are in little groups. We're like it's like school, like in your class. These are the people that started when you started, or that you worked with. So. You became friends with Jerry Seinfeld. Who else?
He was more of an upperclassman.
And he was
those were like Seinfeld, Reiser, Larry Miller.
Steve Schaefer.
Yeah, Schaefer was a little more, but still Schaefer was before my time. So it was a little
and
before.
Colin Quinn was the bartender. A lot of people don't know this at the comic strip. And he had to quit if he could not bartend and do stand-up.
100% correct. 100%
so he
correct.
had to quit to go do stand-up. And now look at him. He's very successful.
Yes, he is. Here's an interesting thing about Colin is he never really did a late night stand-up set.
Right.
Like, that's amazing to me. Like, he never was like, oh, he's going to be on Letterman and do 6 minutes of stand-up. Like, he was able still to build this career without being able to crack that thing.
Right. And Colin and Larry David were both comics who the comedians would be like peeing in their pants and the audience would be like, wait, what? And, it's just fascinating that they were so successful.
Then he left and then he started working, I think, the Paper Moon. Is that place?
Yes. Oh my God, your memory. That's right. The Paper Moon. And there was Green Street. Remember Green Street?
Yeah. There's all those
with
village
Leah
clubs.
Sutton.
Yep.
And what was the one in mid? Oh my God. Who's
Good
on
Times?
First? Remember
Who's on first and Good Times?
Good Times.
Yeah.
Comedy U Grand.
Yep. I know all those places.
Oh my God. That was the 80s boom. It was really an amazing time.
It was quite a scene. Very lucky. Even though at the time, you tell me, this was my memory of it. At the time, it was like, there's way too many comedians at this point.
I know.
That's the way it felt like to me.
So many clubs you could get there were no bringer shows. It was like people. And I remember I used to do street fairs. I used to do I remember Wall Street. They used to have these like happy hours. I'd go down there, then I'd come back uptown. When they started with this, you have to bring 10 people.
Okay. I write about this in my book, The History of I don't want to talk about it, but
yes, you do.
Now they charge comedians. Do you know about this?
Right. Yes.
Like when an open micer, because I love all of stand-up. Open micer to John Mulaney, the whole thing. I love the whole. So
we're both lovers of stand-up. That's when I read your book. I was like, oh my God, he loves this as much as I do. I love it. And I'm protective of it too. Of the art of stand-up comedy, but go ahead.
And when these young comedians would tell me that they had to pay $5 to do 5 minutes at an open mic, my jaw dropped. And they're like, no, that's just what they couldn't. It seemed like, and some of them were like, yeah, these are the best open mics because everyone there is dedicated and everyone in the audience. It's like, wow, could you imagine?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's so upsetting about it is that those people are bringing people. That's the thing. We bring the people to your place because they want to hear stand-up.
No, this is not a bringer show. This is not a bringer.
No. I'm saying comedians.
Oh.
Even if you're an open mic, if there's an open mic and someone's walking by and they're like, let's go hang out there and do the open mic. Those people wouldn't be in your place of business if you didn't have the open mic and they're buying drinks. So a comedian should not have to pay to get on stage.
Okay. That's your point. That's your point.
That's obvious. I know. I'm just fucking saying you're an asshole. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of Kill Me Now with Wayne Federman. Kill Me Now is produced by Laura Vogel, edited by Colin Schmaling. This podcast would not be possible without the help and dedication of Brittany Jo Sowers. Now, if you like the show, I say this every week, can you please subscribe? Can you please leave a review? Can you please buy my book on Amazon and review it 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. It's really great, my book. Yes, I can say that. When they come for the comedians, we're all in trouble. Also, if you didn't watch Hysterical on FX, watch it on Hulu. It's a really great documentary about, what it's like to be a woman in this great stand-up comedy industry. And that's it. Well, it is spring. It's getting nicer out, and I'm still stuck in my fucking apartment. So, it's over soon, guys. So that's it. I hope everyone still wears a mask and gets their fucking vaccines. Get a fucking vaccine. It's ridiculous, people not getting vaccines. And just be well. Just be well and enjoy the sun. because the vitamin D is very important. Also, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram for all of my upcoming virtual and live events. I have a lot of shit going on. So go to @JudyGold, JEWDYGOLD, like Jew Gold. And I just joined Clubhouse Kill Me Now. That's all, folks. So long.
Don't forget to tune in next week to Just Kill Me Now.
It's Just Kill Me.
Oh. Don't forget to turn for part 2 on Just Kill Me.
No, it's not. It's
Just Kill Me.
No.
Judy Gold's Just Kill Me.
Just.
Just Kill Me Now.